to SOOPA Sunday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. See, I'm up pretty early, so I'm pretty energized. The only reason I'll do shows this early because it also caters to those that are not located actually in the Philippines. So I'm probably one of the few vloggers that come on this early because I happen to wake up early every single morning. My body's like a time clock. I'd love to sleep later, but generally I can't. The circadian rhythms or something like that. Melatonin doesn't regulate me. But then again, I never really tried melatonin over a period of time to see if that so-called rhythm, sleep pattern works. So I don't really bother. I don't really bother with that. Yeah, I mean, it might work for some people, the melatonin, but it doesn't really work for me. Let's see, the dogs have been bathed. Oh, they hate that. Right away, when Sal was out there,
Yeah.
she wanted to start digging with her paws in the dirt. I mean, she just had a bath. She's not happy until she's dirty. I don't know about these dogs. Very strange. So we got to keep them in with the fan blowers, dry them off. But believe me, you may not smell the dog smell in your house when you have dogs that are predominantly in a lot, but other people who might come in your house will smell it. So it's always a challenge for us to, you know, constantly sweep and clean and make sure the dogs are well groomed and they get their bath. And it's not every week. Sometimes we go a week and a half or 2 weeks, but there are certain times that they shed a lot more than others. And believe me, we see the result of that. No wonder I got allergies. I mean, come on, really? You expect it. So I got to deal with that by taking an antihistamine. It's just what it is. I was thinking of going to see an allergist, but I already know. I mean, pretty much. I mean, what am I going to remedy really? You have to. He's going to tell you to take an antihistamine anyway. So I take a antihistamine instead of going to a doctor. I mean, sure, they could do the test. I've done that. We're talking decades ago. I mean, how many decades? 3 decades, probably, that I ever had any testing done. And it was a simple thing. It was mold, and of course, and dog dander, whatever. And I've had dogs all the time, which might account why I've got allergies all the time, and other things that might be going on with the sinuses, whatever. You got to live with it. Sometimes you got to live with things that you do have, and you got to work around it. But there are things you can do to change, obesity. Although I'm not going to go harp on that subject on obesity. I think I've covered that thing more than anybody else has on here at all, and what happens when you're obese. I mean, all kinds of medical problems occur, and you either wind up getting a gastric bypass or you try to starve yourself like an idiot. Expect different results. Then, yeah, you lose the weight, and then what do? You put it on again. You make up for lost time eating, and once you get your stomach stretched out a little bit with more food, and then you start eating and doing the same habits, and you wind up right back where you were. So you got to have a lot of discipline. That's the bottom line of all this. If you don't have discipline, then you're not going to achieve your goals. I don't care what your goal is: exercise, this or that, work on your cardio, work on your weight, or you just you got to have the discipline. Without the discipline, you're not going to achieve anything, either saving money or whatever it might be on here. Anyway, we're going to just talk a little about Filipinas here this morning, and I'm not that energetic. Only reason I'm doing this because she was cleaning the floors and mopping the floors, and I figured, well, let me do a short show, get stuck in a room here while everything dries. I mean, I do things early in the morning you wouldn't believe. I mean, I'm up doing laundry. I do a lot of laundry myself. I do help out around here. I mean, I'm not one of these guys who, sees his woman as a fucking maid or something, or Miss Lola. I just, I don't do that. I participate in all the chores and so forth around the house here. I enjoy it because I've always done it on my own anyway. So why would you want to make her work so hard? But some guys look at women as a utilitarian tool, which is wrong to begin with. If that's, what you think of your Filipina, because you hear that they're nurturing and all that, and they love to cook and they love to clean to please their man. I mean, what's wrong with helping out? I mean, a lot of guys, just serve, honey, can you get me if you drink beer, honey, can you get me a beer? Can you get me this? Can you get me that? Go up and get it your fucking self. That's why you're so fucking fat, because you're fucking lazy. Let's face the reality. You're just fucking lazy and you're taking advantage of a Filipino. That's what it really hangs down to be. You know that they're going to serve you in breakfast and lunch and everything else and clean and do the laundry, all that stuff. And you just take it for granted, or you just take it as that's what it is, because that's what they're known to do, and that they love to do domestic things. Okay, that's not really necessarily true. They like to take a rest themselves too. I mean, you think they're going to tell you that they don't enjoy doing it? Some of them do enjoy being very domestic. That's true, and a lot of them are like that. A lot of Filipinos are like that. Doesn't mean they love what they're doing. They just like to kick back and do something else sometimes, and not catering to you all the time. The foreigner that comes out here and doesn't want a relationship, he wants a fucking maid or a slave or something, you know. Okay, honey, I'm ready for sex now. Honey, would you get me that cold beer in the refrigerator? Can you cook me up something? I mean, come on, guys. If you're gonna be in a relationship with a Filipino, just try to show a little more respect than that, really. Help out a little bit. It might help you if you get off your ass and move around a little bit and actually do something around the house and help. But I don't generally think a lot of guys really want to do that. You know, like that's what I got my woman for. Why should I do it? She's gonna clean because that's what they naturally do. They're so domestic. 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 That's the word. Yeah, they are naturally that way. They want to do things to please their men. Unfortunately, for some Filipinos, they do things to please their men because it's a financial arrangement or something, you know. They don't want to get kind of funky, if you know what I mean, with some big bellied, hairy, sweaty chested, smelly armpit, toothless, disgusting, foul mouthed, liquor drinking foreigner. It's the last thing that they actually want to do, but it's part of the process. It's part of, well, I'm with this guy so he could take care of me. So I have to perform certain things that I really do not like doing. And when I get it over with, I'm so relieved. They're thinking I'm so relieved. I did my duty. And now hopefully he's not going to ask me again to do it the same day. And you'd be surprised how many Filipinos are thinking that way. They're not going to tell you. No, they're not. You know, it's a ride that they signed up for. They paid for the ticket. They're in for that ride for self, benefit. Not all of them. I'm not saying in general they're all like that. A lot of them are like that. What happened with the wind? All of a sudden, the wind is picking up out here. Oh, there's supposed to be a storm somewhere. Just suddenly picked up. But don't treat your partner as if she's some hired maid or something. You know, Miss Lola. Treat her like you treat anybody that you respect, and not expect and have so many demands on them. I like making my girlfriend's life easier. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy helping out rather than sitting on my ass, because it's all part of the family unit. It should be. Even the kids here help out, They don't get away with that shit. A lot of times they clean dishes after we eat. They do a lot. They might sweep, go out, pick some weeds, or pick up some dog shit, whatever. Keep them active and train them to be responsible. So they'll be responsible adults. And that's how a family unit works. You work together. And if you're dealing with Filipinos, don't assume that this is the role that they play. And I think that's the biggest mistake I think people make. They've heard it before. They have heard it 1,000 times that, all the shit about them being, it's not shit, it's true though, but about them being very nurturing. And they are. Don't take it. Well, I guess what I'm simply trying to say is don't take advantage of it. I think she'll respect you more. In fact, I can think a number of times when her friend, maybe she'd be talking on the phone with him on a camera or something, or they were surprised that I was cooking, or they were surprised that I was cleaning or doing laundry or something. Yeah, that was their reaction, because the men they've ever been with, Filipino or foreign, don't generally do that. Wow, your boyfriend actually does that? He cooks and cleans and he does this and that? They're actually surprised. This is true. You don't see that a lot. Well, you're lucky that your boyfriend or whatever husband does that for you. Mine, he don't help out at all. And believe me, Filipinos talk to each other. You're not going to hear them. They may talk it in their language, but they talk about their relationships. They certainly do. Sometimes very graphically. And Though I tell mine, you keep our relationship private and where it needs to be private, okay? But they're no different than American women in that sense that they got a good friend. They talk about all kinds of shit, like like guys do with their women. Oh yeah, mine could do this, mine could do that. No, that's kind of where you keep things private. But they talk. Believe me, they talk. But fortunately for mine, she don't talk about anything about intimacy or anything like that. But though she's had friends who have very voluntarily, very easily, got into discussion with things like that. But she never gave in because it's none of her friends' business about our intimacy, and it's probably none of anybody's business what you do behind closed doors. Whether your husband can perform, whether he's good in bed. Now that's between you and your old lady. So it shouldn't go any further than that. But they do talk. I was laughing, but it wasn't really funny when Barry, his chick left him and all that, right? And he's all pissed off at her and all that stuff. And he did a real wrong on that one. He was talking about that one girlfriend and what they did behind doors. It was an oral act. I don't want to get into it. It went pretty far, But anyway, he decided, on what they did. First of all, you don't talk about what you do sexually with your woman anyway. You shouldn't with anybody else. Although guys that come here and visit, they're going to tell their friends, I had this Filipino, hey, I see this one here. We did this and that. And hey, I got the video to it too. And they show their friends that shit. Well, Barry threatened this woman to show intimate pictures or videos when he was pissed off at her. She left him. But he did even verbally, talk about something that they did, which should not be shared with anybody. You could understand how pissed off she was. But then he held this sword above her head. If you try to do anything to me, that I'm going to release these pictures. Now that's not cool. That was not cool what Barry did. Excuse me. I will tell you that right now. The LA young girls committed suicide in regard to social media because their boyfriend decided to take some intimate pictures of them together. And again, here we go. Something didn't work out. He would take those pictures and actually distribute them on social media. And wow, that's something you don't do. How it has affected that girl. How many suicides over social media with girls? Their family might have got a hold of this stuff. Come on, imagine your mother and father seeing intimate pictures of their daughter. Oh, they'd be pretty pissed off at her and whoever did it. And a lot of times these girls come out, it gets so bad and they're so embarrassed about everything that they commit suicide. This is real shit, guys. So don't ever do that. You get pissed off at your girlfriend. Don't be sharing pictures like that. You could be ending her life. It's according to what her emotional grain is. They don't want to embarrass the family, and they can't live with themselves after what they did. In a moment of lust and everything else or whatever, getting charged up sexually, they've done things with their boyfriends and taken pictures. Even adults, we're not just talking about kids. But you should know a lot better if you're an adult, okay? You want to do your own pictures, whatever turns you on, made for you and your partner. If you want to really do that, it's between you and your partner to enjoy later. But to distribute these things, yeah. There was a case. Where the hell did I hear this? But she sued him. There was a woman, not a girl. A woman and her boyfriend. They weren't married. I guess they were together for a while, but they would get into this stuff where they would do videos of each other, Well, this guy wound up putting them on one of these porn sites. I don't know which porn site, but just a porn site. And somebody they knew, just to show you, there's a lot of people who watch porn and the embarrassment of this. Holy shit. True story. I'm sure there's a lot more than that. It's happened to people. And he basically sent in this video. That's how they get their material, these people, because they don't pay you for sending in videos. So they make money with advertisements or whatever, But he decided to send in, figured that she'd never see this, was some kind of a turn on to him or something. I guess that was the reality of it. Didn't figure anybody that they knew would ever see this, but didn't realize how many people actually watch porn. That video was seen by someone that they knew, and then it got out. She was embarrassed, of course. She had a lawsuit against him, and I guess she won. I don't know how much money or anything like that. That wasn't specified, but he got busted pretty bad. Needless to say, the relationship didn't go anywhere from there, and for good reason. Yeah. Hey, Gogo Boba's sister, what's going on? Yeah, I'm up early. I get up early, man. That's just the way it is. I have my energy in the morning. My body requires 6 hours sleep. I really need eight. I would really prefer 8 hours sleep. There's ways of doing that, but I'm not getting involved with, prescription medicines anymore to do that. I just simply take certain type of antihistamines and it'll make you drowsy. And no matter what I take, I don't care what it is. Most of the time, it's 6 hours. My body's like a time clock, or a preset clock. I remember the days I used to. I mean, I envy people that could sleep till 10 o'clock in the morning. I can't do that. Those days are over. I guess when you get older, you need less sleep or something. There might be other reasons why you don't sleep as long, physiological or whatever, or psychological. I don't know. Could be a combination of both. I don't go generally. There's a few times I went 7 plus, but that was rare. That was rare. I'd like to get a good sleep. I mean, I dream. I go into REM and all that stuff. I mean, so I do get some deep sleep because otherwise you wouldn't dream. I'm not an expert on that, but my understanding is REM is rapid eye movement, whatever, which usually occurs during your dreaming, a deep sleep, and so forth and so on. So, yeah. I take 2 gummy bears and sleep. Yeah, well, I wish gummy bears would do it. I used to use the fucking alprazolam shit to utilize because I didn't want to take things like Ambien and shit like that because Ambien is really not good. You could walk in your sleep, not know what you did. There was a lot of problems with Ambien. I have an old friend from Washington State, and his girlfriend, more likely a housekeeper, really is what she is, but technically his girlfriend. Um, Only reason he keeps her around. I remember when she offered me one. I came to stay at his place. He had a chalet type home up in Ocean Shores, Washington, and she takes this stuff all the time. But I think she's got into it so heavily that I don't know, I want to call it the short life of it, whatever, where it wears off, and so it got to a point that she was like, not only getting her sleep at night, but half the day would go by the next day and she's still sleeping. Needless to say, she didn't do housework, she didn't cook, totally worthless. You know, Sexually, she probably wasn't there for him because she was probably tired all the time or taking her Ambien. I'll go to the lightweight route by taking something like Benadryl. And even with Benadryl, you're going to have to increase the dosage after a while because it becomes very ineffective if you ever tried that. But no, I don't. I used to take alprazolam for years for it eases the mind and it lowers your respiration so that you can sleep. But it's not a preferential thing to take. If you take it in low doses, like I did, I would take the lowest dose possible. And I was very fortunate that I didn't have that little syndrome where you had to eventually take more to have the same effectiveness. That's why people get caught up in drugs. They take a certain amount and it works for a while, then it becomes kind of slowly ineffective, and they got to increase the dose all the time. No, I didn't want to get hung up on all that shit. The only reason I ever had alprazolam around, I could talk about this. I have no problem with that at all. Is that every blue moon, and that means rarely, if you don't know what that means. If I had a really anxiety episode, then believe me, alprazolam, which is Xanax, that's your best friend. And trust me that it is. And you want to have it around. It works very effectively and very quickly. It's a miracle drug. I have not had anything of that nature for probably 4 years. And when I did, it's like a panic attack, and you don't know what's happening. You think you're having a heart attack, so you tell your girlfriend, you better call the ambulance because I'm not sure what this is. And as you get older, maybe that is something you should do because you see, the symptoms of some really bad anxiety, or this is called a panic attack, are very similar to the symptoms of having a heart attack, And you just don't really know. But fortunately for me, that hasn't happened for a long time. It really takes something to trigger you. It generally does. Or it doesn't. I mean, it's according to what internally is going on with you. You could be having a great day, out for a walk, you're out happy, you're having a great day, you haven't had any adversity in your life, you haven't had any. stressed, and you're just having a wonderful day, and then all of a sudden, bam, 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 it hits you. You're thinking, well, what the hell triggered that? Well, internally, I mean, your brain has something to do with it, and don't be caught without your meds. So we still, yeah, I got a huge supply here of alprazolam, hundreds and hundreds of pills just laying there. Probably going to go bad after a while. I even thought of dumping it down the toilet, but I said, no, don't do that. You spent a lot of money for one. And number two, you just never know if something just kind of hits you. Maybe a horrible event happens to you and it triggers off an anxiety attack on you. You're going to wish you had those puppies. I will guarantee that. So unless you know, it's just called general anxiety disorder, GAD. That's what it is. But, it doesn't sound scary, but, general anxiety disorder. It's not like specific, it's general. But when it does happen, I will guarantee you that shit you call Xanax, generic is alprazolam, is going to be your best friend. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Because it's happened to me. Start having heart palpitations and oh yeah. Oh yeah. And there's a lot of people out here, they're having problems sleeping for some reason. We know that. I think it's Tim K does it. We know Dave Phelps uses a CPAP machine to blow air into his airways to sleep. Ricky, our Ricky, publicly it tells people that he does use a CPAP machine. Those are horrible because my brother used to use it and they're noisy. And it's something that you have to adjust to. I mean, you got this forced air, you got a mask on. If nobody knows what that is, you got a mask on and it's attached to a hose, a motor, whatever, and it blows a little box unit and it blows this air forcibly into your lungs. And it takes a period of adjustment to do that. And it's noisy for your partner if you're in bed. It's if they're a light sleeper, that could be a big problem. But it's getting used to it. So I said, well, listen, what does that feel like? So he turned that machine on and I put that on my face and I says, holy shit, man. It's like you're getting forced air into your lungs like that. Oh man, that's not for me. And we know several. I think doesn't Tim K do that too? I think Tim K does it. We know Ricky does it. We know Dave Phelps did it. I'm not sure. There might be more people. So hey, you'd be surprised how many people out there don't sleep very well for whatever reason that it might be. Oh, panic attacks. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. I'm telling you, there was 2 times I was living at the other house with Gilda. And it was early in the morning. I woke her up and says, Gilda, I'm not feeling good. Yeah, I think you better call the ER, And let me tell you what it felt like, what was going on, so you understand what that is. Um, yeah, your pulse is going to start going rapid. You might have a little bit of heaviness in your chest, just like a heart attack. I'm telling you, you will actually feel, and I don't know if it's adrenaline, feeling it in your neck, arms, or shoulder. Generally, your left side, but not always. So basically, you're having all the symptoms of what might be known as a myocardial event, and you have to treat it as such because, especially if you're older, you don't know if that's an anxiety, a panic attack. You don't know. So you got to go get an EKG, whatever. Then they'll look at the blips on there and everything else. Okay, no, nothing happening with your heart. You probably just had an anxiety attack. And I haven't had that many in my life. I could probably count on my hands in my life how many I've had. But having it, you'll never forget it. I'll guarantee you that. So that's your friend. That's your friend. Alprazolam, Xanax, or whatever your choice of drug is. There's others. There's something that actually lasts longer. It takes a little longer to be effective. That's why alprazolam is fast acting. So if you have a panic attack, that is the drug of choice. That is the drug that you're going to take. But as I said, I never started using it regularly. And this is a great story. Till I was dating a Filipina back in Hawaii. And I was with her for short of 3 years. I guess it was around short of 3 years. It just got to the point she became very nagging and there was a change going on in the relationship. And she, I guess internally, I don't know, she's just becoming very stressful to me. She was very suspicious, as Filipinos are, whether you're cheating on them. I think I gave you that story. She seen a black hair in my sink in the bathroom, and right away she thought I was cheating on her, and I wasn't. I mean, she was living with me on and off, and it was her own hair when she brushed her hair in the bathroom. It was her own hair, hers. I wasn't cheating. I'd tell you if I was, because it's a long time ago. But I wasn't. But I'm in a relationship. I'm very faithful, first of all, okay? The relationship is over. You just tell each other it ain't gonna work. But yeah, you go about then you can do whatever you want. Then you can do whatever the hell you want. But be honest about it. But anyway, she thought. But then she was becoming, I don't know, man. So normally at that time, for anxiety, general going to sleep, I would take like what I'm doing now. I would take the Benadryl, right, diphenhydramine, and that'd help you go to sleep. Even back then, you build up a tolerance. You had to take more, but um, it got to a point where I think the Benadryl wasn't working. So I would take a half of a half a milligram alprazolam as a 0.50, and you break it in half, score it to a 0.25, which is a quarter of a milligram, which is really, it's like a candy dose, really. It's like, and never during the day, never, ever, just during the night. When I started taking it, and I used to have that stuff around just in case I ever had like a panic attack or something. But in this case, I started taking a quarter of a milligram every night, and it would help me sleep. And it happened during that relationship with her. Ironically, she's Filipina. I don't know the correlation here. I don't know, but and I was taking it ever since. And a quarter milligram is candy. That was it. But I started, ironically, taking it when things were very stressful with this chick, this Filipina in Hawaii. And I was taking it ever since, because I've never abused that medicine at all. I only had it around in case something wacky doodle happened, if I had a panic attack or something. That was it. It was just a little friend that would go for the ride with me all the time, and in case I needed him to drive the car, if you know what I mean, I would have him around. That was it. So I was taking it up until, hey, Jeff, I was taking it up to this time, and I stopped using it, and just doing some natural things and using Benadryl. It's okay so far. And if I have the need to go back on it, I will go right back on it again. I know this is going to, after a while, the tolerance for the Benadryl is going to increase, and you don't really want to take Benadryl all the time. I don't think long term is really good. Not that long term on a benzo is good for you necessarily, because people have been taking benzos for 25, 30 years. Like clonazepam is another one that's fantastic. I have a whole bottle of this shit over here, man. I have a whole bottle of it, and I have used it. And let me tell you the difference between clonazepam and alprazolam. Now, the alprazolam acts pretty effectively immediately, but you're not going to get long-term 4 hours to 6 total effectiveness. Clonazepam, which goes under the name, that, however, chemically different. They're both benzos, but this doesn't act in your system for maybe 45 minutes. However, it has much longer, what do you want to call it, half-life, and you'll get the effect of this till middle of the day the next day. It'll help relax you. It'll stays in your system longer. That's the difference between the two, but you certainly don't want to take them both together. Just choose which your poison, which one you want to take. Alprazolam for emergent anxiety-related problems, that's your friend, because it's fast-acting, not clonazepam. Clonazepam, you could use that as a choice as a sleeping aid, and take it 45 minutes before you do decide to go to bed. You will be very satisfied with it. I have that shit here. I probably have about 300 alprazolam. I probably got about 100. No, I don't have that much clonazepam. No, I don't know. I think maybe I have 25 of them around. But I tell you what, it's effective. It's really effective. It's like anything else, guys. If you have as I said earlier, if you're diabetic, you got to take medicine for that. You got high blood pressure, hypertension, you have to take medicine for that. And if you have anxiety, you may have to take medicine for that. Or if you can't sleep and you've tried everything else, you need to sleep. Sleep is really important. And if something works for you, then it works. If it doesn't work, you don't take it. Unfortunately, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that can't get a good night's sleep. Sometimes you have a racing mind, and I think that was my problem, is that your mind doesn't really stop thinking, really. And what happens is, it's a good thing sometimes for certain things, but if you have a lot on your mind, you're not going to be able to sleep and concentrate on your sleep. That's what happens. That's what happens. And you wind up having to take some shit like that. Okay, what do we got here? Constant fight or flight feeling, Jeff says. Sucks. Feels like you are outside your body. Have you experienced this, Jeff? Yeah, it does. You know, when you first start taking this stuff, if you ever have to consider taking it, I'm going to give you some advice. It's nothing bad. You will feel like your head is above your body when you first start taking that kind of shit. Even maintenance medicine, like, where's my brain this morning? Like, I don't ever take that, you know. Oh, God, I can't. See, let me tell you, it does that to your memory. I tell you, the bad side effect, though, I'm going to tell you that much, is that sometimes it does play with your memory. That's the one bugaboo about it. I mean, nothing really bad, but, you know, then you remember, like right now, Lexapro, I was taking that. And I do take Lexapro. That I do take. That's what you call a maintenance drug. It's not anything like Loprazole. That's just a maintenance drug that keeps things under control. I've been on and off that, and it's not a major drug like Alprazolam. And it's not regulated either. Alprazolam is, you just can't get it from any doctor. The Alprazolam will work immediately, and the Lexapro, which is also known generically as escitalopram, is a maintenance, a very low dose, very, very low dose. And you take that once a day. That's it. But if you have the need for something, fuck man, do it. You're the one that's got to sleep or maintain. But yeah, Alprazolam kind of out the window. Still have it. Would never get rid of it, that's for sure. Oh, couldn't pay me to get rid of it. Believe me, this stuff is worth gold to some people. I'll even hide the medicine. It's a gold. It's on the gold standard. Believe me, to some people that can't get it out here, that's like gold. You have to trust me on that. It's like, you know, to some people that depend on pain pills, hydrocodone and narco and all that shit. If they can't get it, they're gonna want it. If somebody, you know what? I really feel sorry for a lot of Filipinos, because let me tell you what's going on out here. A lot of families that may not have money, they may have a family member that has, let's say, depression, maybe along with anxiety. They tend to go hand in hand. Well, let me tell you something. There are countless Filipinos that have anxiety disorders and stuff like that, and they are suffering. They are just suffering for two reasons, and you'll find one of them very interesting. So listen to this. Number one, of course, because maybe, you know, they can't afford to go to a doctor and can't afford to buy the medicine. Okay, we'll put that in first place. Second place, taboo. Taboo. A lot of parents of children that might have anxiety or stuff, they want to hide it. Embarrassment or something, that their child is not perfect, they're suffering these behaviors. They generally don't want other people to know. If it's something psychological, they don't want others to know. And henceforth, between a combination of not affording a doctor and the pills to buy the medicine, they don't do anything. And if someone's depressed enough, they commit suicide. Because mom and dad was too embarrassed to say anything to anybody, admit that they needed help for their kid or husband or whatever it might have been, their wife, husband, don't matter who it was. It was a, what's the word? I don't know, certain stigma. They didn't want anybody else to know. Hey, thank you, William, for $10 donation. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you. Thank you very much. And they don't want anybody to know. See, I don't mind talking about this because it's life, it's reality. I'm not going to hide the fact. People knew. I said that on my shows before, and they would make fun of me because Frank's taking benzos, you know. There's nothing embarrassing about that at all. Do you take diabetic medicine? You take high blood pressure medicine? What's the fucking difference? You take medicine as you need it. That's life. There's no embarrassment to talking about taking something from anxiety. From a little kid, I've always had general anxiety disorder. Bottom line, there you go. Nothing embarrassed to talking about. You don't want anxiety to control your life. There's certain things you could do to fight anxiety, but they don't always work. And sometimes your body is not producing the GABA properly or the serotonin. And by the way, the serotonin stuff and all that, that's produced in your gut. Most people think it's produced in your brain. It's not produced. It affects your brain, but it does not. It is not produced. And some of you might find that fascinating to know that. You probably never knew that. That it actually happens in your gut. Mm-hmm. So if you have a lot of problems with your gut, that might be affecting you. Yeah, I mean, I thought for a long time myself, but yes, from your gut to your brain, yeah, it's sending chemicals, but it's produced in your gut, utilized by your brain, what they call GABA, and so forth. Okay, that's how it works. Hope you're learning something from this. I hope you really are. I mean, everybody knows that anxiety. It's not a big thing talking about it. I've talked about it very freely, about Prazlam and all that shit, because they make fun of you and all that stuff. Until it happens to them, until they start taking it. Remember, I used that example. I remember years ago in Seattle, even in, what was it, Hawaii? Somebody, when he actually had the actual food stamps, which were actually, paper money, for food, and didn't come out with the cards yet. And I remember somebody in line that was making fun of looking down at somebody that, it was somebody that was with me and made a comment about this person that was in front of the line. They were taking out that money, which is food stamps. And the guy was looking down his nose at the person. I said, that ain't right. That these are lazy people and they don't want to work and our tax dollars has got to pay for your fucking food stamps. That kind of attitude, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you do. But then later on, guess what happens to the guy? And this is kind of a comparative when we're talking about the Prazlam and whether you have a need or not, you take drugs for what your need is. He lost his job, so he had to get government benefits for quite a while. And guess what? He was seen in the store using these so-called food stamps. So it's good for the goose ain't good for the gander sometimes. But the very person that was looking down their nose, see, I would never be seen doing that in a store. Hey man, I've been on food stamps before in my life. I had no embarrassment. It was between jobs or something. I first moved to Seattle. Fuck yeah. It's a government benefit. If your income is low, you can apply for that. You gotta eat, right? If you got a diabetes, you gotta take medicine for that. If you got high blood pressure, you gotta take medicine for that. But you also gotta eat. Some idiots purposely starve themselves. It's what a crazy, zany world we live in, isn't it? It really is. You do what you gotta do, man. You do what you gotta do. You just do it. Don't worry about what people think. Part of life, man. We're given life and we're taking it away, but during that long ride in between, relatively short ride, really, as far as I'm concerned, you do what you have to do to survive. That means eating, drinking water, whatever you need to do to survive every day. You got a headache, take an aspirin or ibuprofen, whatever it is you need to do. You just do it, man. No embarrassment about that. Everybody does. Everybody takes the shit. Everybody takes the piss too. We're no different than each other. We all have needs that might be similar to others. Lo and behold, we're human. You gotta shit, you gotta piss, you gotta shower and keep clean. You gotta clean house. There's things you gotta do. You gotta maintain your body by making doctor's visits, blood tests. Smart people do that. Stupid people don't. Well, nothing's happened to me. I'm healthy as a horse. How do you know that, sir? I mean, how do you know that? You don't know. Then something hits you. Oh man, I should have done that and taken your advice or taken better care of myself. Well, duh. Yeah. Okay. So maybe there's some things in life you don't like to do. Maybe if your lungs get so fucked up, you have to take oxygen. All right, my brother has to do that. But it's called reality. And if you've done things that mess up your body, you have to deal with it later on. Some might be lucky not to. But I mean, you got to eat, right? Right? You got to drink water, right? If you're not getting enough oxygen, then you would have to get oxygen, right? As embarrassing as it might be to you, you're going to have to be on an oxygenator or an oxygen tank. These days, you're lucky he's got an oxygenator machine, whatever you want to call them, that produces oxygen. You could also fill up your bottles with that if you really want to use your bottles. Too embarrassing for him. He's not going to walk around with a tank. I mean, that's old hat these days. That's old hat. They have these little portable units put on your shoulder. Put the strap on your shoulder. You can walk around anywhere in a grocery store. You don't have to have the embarrassment. Some people still do that. It used to be embarrassing for them to have to haul a tank behind them in a grocery store. Yeah, that's really, humiliating to a lot of people. But fortunately, these days they got these small tanks you can carry around. They're enclosed in a looks like a suitcase thing, and you can walk anywhere. And it doesn't last terribly long, but you can still use that. Go driving in a car. The doctor tells you need oxygen all the time. You have to use it. And my brother does. He doesn't have. He's still, believe it or not, these government programs really suck. How long he's been fighting just to get teeth. He finally found he got his teeth in finally after all this time. Jesus Christ. He said, if I die, I want to be buried with my fucking teeth. I want to be able to eat again. And truthfully, I just talked to him the other day and I didn't ask about that. Are you relearning to chew? And it sounds like a crazy statement. Are you relearning to chew? We've gone without teeth as long as my brother has. And people like Barry, you're not able to eat all the foods you want. And so when you do finally get teeth, you find a governmental program that actually is helping you out, which is a miracle. I contributed actually $350 to my brother because I am a good brother. And because he needed a down payment on us. Found a dentist that would do it through a program. He did it, uppers and lowers. And I forgot to ask him on a recent, phone call just yesterday. Well, here's the thing. You got to relearn to do two things. If you haven't had teeth for a while, you have to relearn two things. How to eat again. And utilize those new pair of choppers you have. Secondly, to talk, because you're not used to talking with these new choppers in your mouth. Now, I got predominantly all my real teeth, and a lot of them are just capped, so I got my real teeth. I have a couple of teeth in the back. Upper front, upper back that are missing. I think two or three teeth in the back. That's it. Everything is my own teeth, actually. Everything I have in my mouth is my own teeth, but the difference is they might be capped, and you still have to have your own teeth to cap it. What they do is they'll chisel it down to fit this cap. Okay, but you still have your own teeth. They didn't pull it out and all that shit. They didn't, you still have them, but you need something to adhere to. So all the Hollywood people, they do the same thing. They get these capped teeth and all that, and they look really nice. Some people make the mistake of getting like really, really white color, and it looks really unnatural. It really looks unnatural. You got to get slightly discolored like teeth would normally look. Not so bright that you're going to blind somebody. You got to wear glasses. That's ridiculous. So basic consensus of what I'm saying here is that sometimes you have to do what you have to do, whether you like it or not. The people who sleep with CPAP machines, they don't like doing that. But like Ricky does it. I'm sure he don't like doing that, but you have to do that. You might wake up your partner with that. They may say, I got to sleep in a different bed or a different room, dude, because this is just too loud. I'm a sensitive sleeper. I'm sure that has happened. I'm more than reasonably sure. I haven't been looking at the numbers. 7? I had more than that. I don't know what happened. But we did get a donation from William O'Leary for $10. Thank you again. Salamat to William O'Leary, who's becoming one of my regular listeners on my show here. As I said, I try to be as informative as I can and be as, excuse the expression, frank as I can. Don't worry about the handle of my show. As soon as I can change that, I will. I just can't because you can only make changes every so often on that. So let me give advice to people on here. Never be embarrassed about what you have to do about your health to take care of it. Never be embarrassed about having to use crutches if you need to use crutches. Never be embarrassed about using leg braces if you need that. Never be embarrassed about taking medicines that are going to help remedy or help you deal with a problem, physiological, medical. If you got to do it, you just have to do it. Be very, very, very happy and very lucky that you are living in a time that medicine has come a long way. Everything when antibiotics came in and everything else, even when Valium came in, that was a lifesaver to a lot of people. Everything advanced. You got alprazolam, you got clonazepam, you got diazepam, you got all this different shit on the market. Be grateful. Because there was a time prior to these, okay, let's talk about the benzo shit. There was a time when there was no such thing on the market at all, and you had to suffer if you actually had anxiety attacks. Okay, be grateful that there are products out there that will help your particular medical. Feel lucky you were born when you were born into the technology, medical technology, and so forth that we have now. If you lost a leg, you could walk again. They could, there's something called prosthetics. If you lost an arm, that could be replaced with a prosthetic so you could still function and still work. Be grateful. Sometimes you have to be grateful for something in your life. Something. Why not be grateful to modern medicine, modern technology? That is what's keeping you going as we speak. I wouldn't be surprised that numerous people that are listening to me right now have some kind of medical problem. But if they take some kind of a medicine to remedy or deal with the problem. And I don't know if you please realize, I don't know what the statistic is, but you'd be shocked to know that, especially America, and I'll just speak for America, not worldwide. How many people are on anti-anxiety or antidepressant drugs? You'd be shocked. It's in the millions and millions in the United States. I think something like 20 million people are taking some sort of mood-altering drug, anti-anxiety, anti-depression drug, because life in this new millennium and prior can be stressful to people, economically, socially, especially socially these days. How many people have taken advantage of the new medical technology, the new medicines, to be able to cope with a particular problem that they do have? Be grateful. I am very grateful, believe me. I'd be dead now, and I could think of an ear situation that I could have been dead if I didn't have it treated, if they didn't have the kind of surgery and antibiotics and everything that I needed for my ear. I would have been long dead. Wouldn't be here, because I had a mastoid infection in my right ear, massive infection that was spreading to the mastoid bone, even in the skull. You could have got meningitis and died from that. Eventually lead to a brain tumor, whatever. But I took care of it. I was young, had an operation. They didn't get all the bacteria cells out of there, so it came back right away. So I had to go in again to do that until it was fixed. But my hearing wasn't good because eventually the infection had destroyed the very vital hearing bones. What is it? The anvil, stirrup, and whatever. And there's a cochlea. All that shit was destroyed. So henceforth, I had to do another operation to replace it. With this artificial, same designation, stirrup, anvil, whatever, bones that were destroyed, in hopes that there would be some restorative hearing. But unfortunately for me, there wasn't. And because they dickered around inside my ear so much, they don't recommend any other surgery in my ear, because you have something called a facial nerve that's in there. And this infection was very close to it. And when they operated to put the other stuff in there, very close. One little bad movement and damaging the facial nerve, which is very sensitive, could give you paralysis on that side of your body or face or whatever. That one little thing. So they will not attempt to operate on that again. So what can I do about that? Well, I could do more research and see if there's any kind of a hearing aid that'll actually work for my situation, that'll work on the frequency loss that I have. Now, a lot of people say, Frank, you got a pretty good speaking voice. I've heard that many times. I find it absolutely amazing because the hearing in my right ear is half gone, at least half to 60%. And generally, when you talk, you're listening to yourself. You know what you sound like, and you make the proper adjustments in your speech. Some people take that for granted, but they don't realize how that works. Now, my ear, and the only way I can tell you how much loss is in that ear, okay, let's say you're watching TV, and you got it at listening volume, a volume that the whole family can enjoy with good hearing. All right, try turning that volume down halfway from normal listening level. Imagine how uncomfortable that is, but you get adjusted to it like anything else. There's people who lost their arms, and they say, you know what? It's like this ghost effect. I forgot what they call that. They really feel like they still have that limb. The brain is still saying that, I have this limb. It's still there. That's a weird feeling. Like if you lost your leg or you lost your arm or something. Yeah, you still have a feeling like it's really still there. Isn't that amazing? I find that fascinating, actually. Hopefully, I never lose a limb. Hopefully, any of you diabetics out there don't lose a limb. Take care of yourself. Do what you need to do to make sure that nothing gets bad. You don't want to go there. I know people who've had diabetes, they have lost limbs, things like that. See your doctor, man. Don't be, try to prove that you're a real man. A real man don't need to see a doctor. That's complete bullshit. You guys know that. That's entirely. So don't be embarrassed about taking any kind of medicine that's going to help your pain, help if you have depression, if you have anxiety, or if you have any other kind of disorders. Some people, unfortunately, have some really horrific things like schizophrenia, things like that. They have people on strong drugs like lithium, and oh my God, I can't imagine that. We knew a guy down the block from us in Hawaii that, he was on lithium. This guy was a nut. When I say a nutcase, I mean a nutcase. He'd really go off on you, man. Pretty good guy in size. He's an idiot, but at the same time, he was intelligent. How can you be an idiot and intelligent at the same time? This guy was. I'm not even going to try to explain that. But this guy, though, would go off. He'd go off on you. And he had, I guess, multiple psychological issues. So I couldn't get along with people at all. But his was serious. I mean, to have to take like lithium and other shit like that, that was really serious shit. Don't be embarrassed to take things that you need. If it's going to help you, by all means, drop your guard. Take it. Okay, then this is one thought of concern that a lot of people have. Well, wouldn't long-term use of this, kind of affect my liver or this or that? Generally not. Generally not. I'm not saying. See, your liver has to metabolize all this shit you take, all the medicine. Generally speaking, most people who are generally not going to have liver problems. They say it could cause. If anything, benzos could affect your memory, long-term memory. But when it doesn't really affect you that much. Some people say it could lead to Alzheimer's, things like that. There have been studies that have proven that in some cases it could. Not with everybody. There's been people that have been on there. I've read the forums. Because a lot of people, if you have something going on with you, you like to get on these forums to see other people that are experiencing the same thing that you do. And what I've read a lot, that a lot of these people are on 25, 30 years. They have no problems, no side effects to their health, their kidneys, their liver, nothing like that. And they all swear on it. They say, I will never, ever get off this drug because I know what the alternative is. There's some people that have some really bad shit anxiety, man. We're talking what the average person, what the person is taking. Remember I said how the pill is measured from like, I don't know, 1/4 milligram all the way up to 2 full milligrams. There are people that are taking 4 or more a day of the 2 milligram. How extreme is that? 4 times a day, and in a combination of yet another psychopathic drug. Can you imagine having to do that every day? Holy shit, you might as well just be a walking zombie. But they will take whatever it is to cope. I think most people are abusing this shit. But they're up to taking 4 full strength medicine like that. I think they're abusing their body. That's what I think. Tolerance, you do build up tolerance for drugs. But I can't even tell you how long I was on alprazolam at the lowest dose, and I never developed a tolerance because it was only 1/4 milligram compared to a full milligram, 2 milligrams. That was it. I never abused it. I could tell you honestly, I've never abused it at all. Doctors always be concerned that you were going to develop a pattern of dependency based on your need to have higher doses, that your tolerance. Never happened with me because the dose that I was taking for a long time, it's almost like cold maintenance, really. I never had to deviate from the milligrams, 1/4 of a freaking milligram, which is like eating an M&M candy. I mean, it's that low, but can be that effective. You don't need high doses unless you were just really spazzing out with anxiety. I mean, like you just having panic attacks all the time. Then you take it during the day too. I just was taking it at night to help me sleep, and that was the only reason. But I kept it around in case I ever did have one of these rare, what we call panic attacks. Okay, so hope you learned something from my show. I'd like to walk away, and I didn't read your comment. Jeff Hart said, Lexapro was hard for me, gave me worse depression. Finally, Effexor worked for me long term. But those medicines can also affect other things too. That's why I like to get off. I had gotten off. Yes, a near-death experience around age 40. Oh, I kept dwelling on it, and anxiety built up. Oh yeah, I can see that. People generally don't understand, you know. Hello, Puerto Rican experience. How are you? How are you? How are you? People don't understand it unless they have it. And that's the only time that they will actually ever understand. They won't. They don't understand until you're bitter, you know. I've known people with anxiety and they would exhibit it, and then people would understand what it is. They don't believe you. They go, it's in your mind, there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with me. A lot of people think like that. I remember one time I had a bad fever. I was in Hawaii and holy shit, I was like, my legs started shaking wildly. My arms started shaking, my body. Huh? Hold on, folks. I gotta put this on. Okay, where did I stop off on here? Yeah, that sounds terrible, Jeff. If yeah, people don't understand what it is until they actually experience it, and maybe if they have a bad accident or if they come across something that's very horrifying or something, then they might know what anxiety actually is. Because maybe you never had it all your life, all of a sudden, boom, bang. A lot of people that's on PTSD, they might be taking certain medicines like that too. Any kind of traumatic experience that you might have had in your life. Understand something, man. We're simple creatures. We're human. We're probably not the most intellectual people in the galaxy. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. And some of us out there are a lot less. But if an alien came down, these stupid people, man. Stupid fucking people. How did they even stay alive? They're so stupid. Don't they know what they're doing is wrong? Whether it's a medicine they're taking or a therapy for treatment for cancer or something. Shit, they might have had the answer for fucking centuries. If they really want to share it with us, they just rather see us be extinguished. That's the way I'm thinking. If aliens are really observing over the centuries, what's going on what we call planet Earth, probably monitoring us. It's probably saying, but these are really stupid creatures. Look what they're doing to each other. Wars, hate, all this shit. Maybe D-Day is going to come one day. They're going to say, we're just going to destroy the Earth. Let the animals live. They didn't cause harm to nobody. And annihilate. This just didn't work out. We were a species that might have been planted. Who the hell knows? And under experimental, under observation for all the years we've been on there. And they decided that, no, it's not worth. Uh-oh, it's outside. Oh.
Dog's inside now.
I was wondering who the dog was outside. Look at my monitor. He yelled for some reason. Did he get scared? Is our dogs outside?
No, inside.
Okay. Yeah. Great topic today, I must say. And they say I don't have topic matter. I always have topic matter on here, guys. You know that. That's why I try not to get... I did my great demonstration the other day, which you don't want to do on YouTube, And that's not the way you want to collect Super Chat. You want to collect because they like your show. Simple as that. Just like O'Leary sent $10, and that's fantastic. And that's all it is. Talk about something interesting, and you're going to have people coming to your show more and more eventually. Because when you talk about life, after all, what do we have? We have life. We live in our own bodies. We talk about ourselves. We talk about our lives. We talk about, dealing with society in itself. We talk about, are you going to take the trike? Oh, okay. Well, think of what we need. And I know your daughter's coming today, so I don't know. We'll eventually go to Cebu and we'll get a whole bunch of supplies. Okay, so sorry about that. I had to put that on mute for a second there. But this is what discussion should be about. It's about life, right? If you're here listening to me, you're alive. We're all alive until the time comes we're no longer living. And a lot of us share the same problems, psychologically, emotionally, physiologically. You're no different than anybody else. Maybe there might be some people out there that may not admit to their faults. But it's not a fault. Actually, I want to change that word around. Inefficiencies, deficiencies, whatever, that maybe you didn't create for yourself, that people created, or your genetics, or something environmental, socially, or just chemically, or something has affected you in some form or another. Or maybe you're just not functioning the way that you'd like to function. Coping with things is very hard. Okay, I see it on the monitor. All right, pick up, too, and whatever you need. You need money, take it. Okay, whatever. All right, thank you, dear. See, I don't need an alarm around here. I don't need a CCTV system around here, which I do have. My dogs hear and smell, see everything. You could hear that. Okay, girls, Apollo, Zeus, Magnum. Good God, Magnum. You wonder why I always say that. Why don't I just tell you? I've always thought Higgins was hilarious on Magnum PI. You know? Zeus, Apollo. Hey, I don't name him Zeus and Apollo. But I always thought it was funny how he used to react to Magnum. Some of the stupid things he would catch Magnum doing, he'd go, "Good God, Magnum," and with the British accent and all. I thought it was great. And that's why I say that sometimes. I like to be original. So say, "Oh my God, oh my God," say, "Good God," whatever. What are we fighting for? Good God. I think that was used in that song too. What are we fighting for anyway? Seriously. Really? We're all insignificant here on YouTube, man. I'm insignificant to you, except if you're learning something from me, then I'm not insignificant. But generally, most of these turd balls on here are they're insignificant to all of us. They don't contribute to society intellectually or any other way. They don't. They're like a non-issue, a non-person. That's kind of the way I look at them. They don't even contribute to themselves. Everybody wants something given to them without earning it too. Well, I've always thought that I've earned any super chat on my show because I'm really out there with my thoughts. I try to teach people things that I've learned, which I don't have. I'm not obligated to tell you about health issues. We talked everything about the size of a dick and performance and what a woman wants. I mean, I don't hold back anything. You know why? Because that's life. It's what we all experience. And we want to hide everything and put it under the rug, right? Instead of taking a vacuum and cleaning it properly, you want to throw all the dirt, all the bullshit, all the reality under a fucking carpet. Why would you want to do that? We all share, the commonality of being what they call a human being. And as such, we have ailments, we have physical, mental, emotional things that we all go through. We all have to sit on the toilet to take a shit. We all have to do both. We have to shit and piss. We all have red blood. We're the same in many ways. Face it, that's reality. Face your own reality. That you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Never said I was. Some people are far superior than others intellectually in other ways, and some are much more, let's say, inferior to other people intellectually in every other way. We're not all the same. You may have the same biological functions and organs. That's where it begins and ends. You as an individual have your own thought process, which is yours. You have your own memories, which nobody can take that away from you. Good or bad, it's yours. They could down you. They could call you every name in a book. They can't change who you are or want to be, or, the authentication of who you are. They can't change that. No matter how hard they try. It's yours to keep. It's yours to do whatever you want to do. Nurture what you've learned in life and use it. It could save your life too. Get you out of bad situations. Utilize the best of who you are. And if you're meeting a woman, show her your best side. But you know what? What men don't do is show her your vulnerability too. Show her your sensitivity. They dig it, man. They really do. They want to see that human part of you. Not that I'm better than everybody else. I'm better than all the men. I'm tougher, I could lift more weights than any other man could. That doesn't make you a man. And we discussed this a lot. What is a man? And we got a goober out there that just doesn't understand what a man really is. Because he's not a man by all definitions of a man. You got Napoleon complex and all these fucking psychological downfalls and insecurities in your life. You're a man by genetics, by nature, that you got a penis and testicles. I don't know about the boobs. It's another thing. You're still a man if you got boobs? That's a good question. But, you are what you are, and you live with who you are. And where you find fault in your own self, you make improvements upon that fault. Okay? Alrighty. I need to take a little break here, guys. I'll leave it on for a little bit here. I don't want to do multiple shows. That's why I might keep this show going. But there are things I got to have breakfast. And rather than shutting the show down, and I could always do another show, but I don't really want to. I'm going to keep this on for a while, and I'm going to just take care of some business here. I'm going to go find I'll make some oatmeal with blueberries or something. I don't know, find something to eat around here. I just don't have eggs and shit every day like that. I just really don't. You could have, by the way, it's just for your information, you could have several eggs a day, every day if you don't go more than 2 eggs a day for a long period of time. That probably wouldn't be healthy for you with the cholesterol, but we need cholesterol. Eggs are like one of the most complete foods that you could actually eat. Really, they are. I will be back. If you want to do a dialogue, you're welcome to. I'm sure more people will pop in time because it's still pretty early around here. We'll see what happens, you know. Next to Balut. Oh, God, Jeff. No. No. I throw up in the morning if I had to have Balut. I really hate being the first person up in the morning here. I just really, I'm up and I do my thing. First thing you do, take a piss, right? That's the first thing you do. Me, well, unfortunately, my smoky, I'll go out, have a smoke. I might decide to listen to something on, because she's sleeping. I might decide to have, to look at something on YouTube or something like that, go back and relax. My headphones are broke, so I have to go in the other room if I want to listen to the YouTube early in the morning. I gotta buy another pair. That reminds me, I gotta put that on my list. I need some headphones. Yeah, definitely on my list. Anyway, things are going real well for me, guys. I must say, and for me to say, I really don't have any particular complaints, really, other than having an allergy. And I'm just talking about medical. I'm talking about life in general. Life in general, I think on a scale of 0 to 100, I think life in general for me is about an 80. That's pretty good, actually. Not everybody wants to feel on an 80% level. I could easily say my life is totally perfect. It's 100%, but it's not. Not totally. I don't know what euphoria is. I'm not euphoric. If you want to take drugs that's going to make you euphoric, then yeah, you could do that too. Go ahead, go take coke, and for like what is it, 20 minutes or something, you feel euphoric and all that. Then it wears off, and you feel like shit. And you can't feel like you take coke. And I've never taken coke, but I know, believe me, close to home, people have had, and I know all about it. I'm not an expert on it, but I know it very well. And I know how you feel on that because it's been described to me. You also get horny. All that shit. I know all that shit. I know a lot about drugs. I just don't take them. I just take medicinal things that are meant for me to take if necessary. I don't take street drugs. I don't think I ever did. No, I did try something once. I did. Speed. I tried speed. I was working for a painter. It was the end of the day and wanted to wash the brushes to go home. I go, wait a minute. Somebody gave me that, And I was just painting outside. Like, I'm not finished with this yet. And I had this fucking energy, man. Damn, I never took that again. But I did try speed. Yeah. Like the word says, speed. It works. And that shit works. It's real. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's a lot of truck drivers that take similar things like speed. I would never recommend that. You're on the road. Your own life and other lives are at stake when you're doing that shit, man. You know that you shouldn't be doing that. It's not worth the money to get the product. We got to get it in an expedient amount of time. You just do your normal driving, drink some coffee, and even too much caffeine isn't good either. Not everything in the world is good for you guys. Waking up in the morning may not be good for you. You're facing the environment that you face every single fucking day. The pollution, chemicals, this, that, the products you use around the house. You're being exposed to all kinds of toxins. Even, unless you're like one of these people who will never use a spray, who will never use a disinfectant with chemicals in it. You never use even Windex spray, believe it or not. Whatever, unless you have a perfect house, no dust mites, everybody has dust mites, you're going to face a lot of shit for when your eyes wake up in the morning. You just don't realize you are. I gotta admit, I do have a lot of insight into stuff. You must admit I do. That's one thing about me. I have a lot of insight. And maybe that's why a lot of people listen to me, because I do have that insight. Not everybody thinks like I do, and I don't expect them to, but this is just what my makeup is. I like to examine things from inside out. I like to understand things. I like to know where things are coming from and why. I'm kind of analytical in that way. Yeah, I thought you were on here already. I'm taking a little break here right now. Yo, Philippines and beyond. Yo, Jerry the ho. Okay, man, really a great topic matter this morning, but you come in late all the time, man. What's wrong with you? We even got a donation here from William O'Leary for $10. Was that cool? Yeah. Oh, okay. You're probably going to have to re-listen to my show later on. No, I'm staying on for a little bit, but I'm just taking, me, look, I come right out with it. I just didn't want to have to do another show to continue on talking about. I'm just leaving it on for a little bit. I'm going to come back. I just want to go find something to eat and all that shit. That's all. Rather than shut down the stream, I'm leaving it on. I'm coming back, but I'm just saying, please get used to that, because this is something I do on my show. And I think most people are realizing I do that. Whether I got to use the facilities, whether I take a smoke break, whether I got to eat, change clothes, whatever it is. My timing is always never good when I do a show. It never is, never was, really. So things I got to handle around here. but I'll keep the show going. As far as I go. Okay. All right. I'll be with you. I know probably nobody's. I would not be surprised if Big Kevin will be on today because he probably hasn't been on for a while. And I'll understand if you want to shoot over to somebody's show. That's cool. I don't mind that at all. It's not a big deal. I've been talking about some pretty vital things. We're talking about depression, anxiety. We're talking about different medications and other things that people use for other physiological or psychological reasons. It's been pretty good so far, and we covered quite a bit. I talked even about what I was taking and why I was taking it, why I'm not taking it anymore. I covered quite a bit on here, actually. You just weren't here to listen to it. Yeah, okay. I'll be back, guys. If you want to disappear, you disappear. I'm just leaving the computer on, but I will be back. I will be back. And, don't stop. Oh, never mind. I'll be back. Okay. No, I'm back here for a little bit. Okay, but I see I lost the attention of the audience. You just can't leave. I was just making some oatmeal or something on here. I guess the best advice I'm going to give people: don't stop believing. That's a Journey song. It's a good song, by the way. Don't stop believing. Don't stop believing in yourself, no matter what adversity you've ever had with anybody. Don't stop believing in yourself. And if you have any, now people wondering, Frank, do you have any really bad illnesses you're just not telling us about? No, I don't. Actually, I've been doing pretty good. I've got the allergies, which it's not a big thing, but to me it's big. And mechanically, mostly. It's mechanical, mostly. Some of it is part of a typical degeneration of your vertebrae, things like that. Maybe a little bone spur in the neck and things like that. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it superficial, whatever. No, I don't. As far as from testing and stuff I've had, everything seems to be on par. Seems to be pretty good. So I don't really have any illnesses. I don't have anything terminal that I know of. Last I checked, I don't. And count my lucky stars or whatever. But no, I don't have any. I don't have any major illnesses at my age, and so far I've been lucky. That there's no guarantee. Like I said, I'll also say on my show many times that there's no guarantees in life except death and taxes. There's no guarantees. Trust me. You could have a wonderful day and a car could hit you when you're walking across the street. I mean, anything could happen to you. That's why it's called an accident. It's not planned. It's something that just happens. You have no control of that. That's destiny. And you don't have control of your own destiny, unfortunately. And we will never have control of our own destiny, except the fact that you could do things for your body that's good for you to counteract some of the bad things that naturally happen to you, or things that you do, whether smoking or drinking or whatever. That more of an external factor. Has nothing to do with your genetics, and you have a certain amount of control on that. And I truly believe that, not that I'm that old, I think I'm alive today because some of the things that are positive that I do compared to anything that might be considered negative. So I believe that. I truly believe that. When I was doing all these shows about, supplementation, antioxidants, all that stuff. Oh yeah, that's critical in my life. And so far it's worked very well. And I always told you also, there's no guarantee. No matter what you do that's positive for yourself, your genetics might say something else, or something could happen you least expect it. There is no guarantee, but I call it an insurance policy. That's all I call it. It doesn't mean I'm going to live forever because I take a lot of good supplementations. I've actually had to spend the time to study this stuff. I'm not ready to die. Not most people aren't. But I think if you're a person who has so many multiple illnesses, you give up. Or they have so much pain that they want to die, and I don't blame them. Where it gets to a point where medicine is not even working for you anymore. I don't like to hear that, really. Even for my worst enemy, and you think I'm probably bullshitting, but even for my worst enemy out here on YouTube, I don't wish that kind of pain on somebody, no matter what, they've done. Except, if they raped my daughter or something like that, they could rot in hell, and they'll give them all the pain in the fucking world, as far as I'm concerned. If they did something so terrible to me or my family, then that's a whole different story. But other than that, no, I don't wish something that gives somebody excruciating pain that they want to kill themselves. That the pain is that bad. And that's the problem here in the Philippines, guys. Drugs are more readily available in the United States, even in the street if you had to, unlike here. You'll get shot and killed if you have drugs out here, or go to prison without bail, for the rest of your life. And everything is controlled out here by the hospital. They will administer if you need morphine or something, you got cancer or something, a bad accident, I mean, you're really in pain, right? Pain is horrible, isn't it, folks? Have you ever really experienced any intense pain? I have. When I had sciatica, that was pain. I'm going to tell you, that was pain. But if you have like a really debilitating illness out here in the Philippines, where you're in extreme pain, I hate to tell you, it's only going to be administered by the hospital. While you're in the hospital, they may give you some to take home, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, you have to just keep on coming back. They're not going to give you a 3-month supply and send you home with that. It's not. Sorry, it ain't going to work that way, because they're thinking that some people might want to sell the drugs. So, as you know, the Philippines is very anti-drug. You would never think that even marijuana, they haven't, come to that resolve with that, it's a plant, and it's, and what you smoke and put in your body is usually your bed. And the way I feel on a whole is that, okay, you're in control of your own body. What you put in it is your business. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. It's your business. There should be no legislation. There should be no politics. There should be no government. There should be no doctor that's going to tell you what you need. And I've had instances in my life where I had some pain from an injury or something or whatever, and I was really uncomfortable. They're telling you, I don't think you need that. So what do you mean you don't think I need that? Are you in my body? You're telling me how I feel? Why don't you feel the pain I have right now and tell me if you're not going to want some kind of a strong medicine for that? And believe me, I'm the type of guy, I will not take any kind of strong ass pain medicines unless I really have the need for it. Sure, I've been on hydrocodone when I've had some body aches. I had a fall one time, my shoulder, on the bed of my truck. There are numerous occasions where, yes, you're welcome to have some kind of what you would hope to be an effective painkiller, but you don't want to get involved in that. My sister did. She's been on that for decades. She even had to get a pain pump put in. I don't know if you ever know what that is. That's something that administers a dose into you, morphine or whatever the hell it is, on a controlled situation. But I think she's doing. At least that's what my brother told me she did. I don't talk to her, but it gets to that point. Pain management. It's not good here in the Philippines. Pain management. From what I know, and I just feel so bad. Listen to me. I feel so bad for a lot of Filipinos out here, Filipinos, that can't afford to not even see a doctor to get treatment, that are in pain for some reason or another, from an injury or accident or cancer or something really serious, and they can't get the help they need. You got to feel for these people. You have to. And you want, at least as a foreigner, if we're like Social Security age, we got, of course, the Medicare card, right? So, of course, we can't use that out here, but we do have the option of going to a U.S. territory like Guam or go back to the United States, and you could utilize this. But it still takes money to travel and where you're going to stay, right? So money is still involved. Yeah. But Filipinos out here, they suffer. Believe me, they suffer unnecessarily. People should be treated. Now, I believe in socialized medicine. In the United States, that's never going to happen. They think it's communism, for God's sakes, communism. How many countries are doing that type of medicine? Canada's one of them, just to name one. And yeah, you may pay more taxes and stuff like that. And you may even be on a waiting list because there's so many people that want to utilize this kind of a medical system. But you have it. And anybody who has an ailment or something can go and get it treated. That's the way it should be. Oh, Jerry's not going to pay shit. Jerry, I think, left because he thought I was getting off for a while. And I am. I'm back and forth. But no, Jerry is not going to donate nothing. Forget about Jerry. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do it. You've done it. William O'Leary here has done it. Others have done it. Just forget about Jerry, man. That ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But as I said, here in the Philippines, guys, it's a serious situation going on. You have to feel for these people. That's why I will voluntarily, which was I should use the money for, really, that I promised. I should actually find somebody with a bad medical condition that needs medical help. That's what I should do, really. I haven't totally decided on it yet. The 25K we're talking about, I haven't totally decided how I want to disperse that. But certainly, for somebody who's having a pretty intense medical problem and they need treatment, absolutely. Gogo says Jerry has more money than all of us. He might. Maybe that's why he's got money, because he don't spend it. Yeah, it could be. There's a lot of people like that. They'd rather see somebody else's money than spend their own. For all we know, our friend Fazio could be a multimillionaire. Well, I doubt that. He might have money we don't know about. He just could be just a cheapskate. That's all. Just using your money rather than his. But that's stupid, because how many years has he got left for any one of us? Utilize the money for what you need it for, man. Especially if you got pre-existing health conditions. Use your money, man. Use it for the good of your body, your health. That's foremost than anything else. Don't depend on, I don't want to go in my bank account, let everybody pay like Barry did. Let everybody pay everything for my booze. One of the funniest things, there's many things that Barry said that was funny. And one of the funniest things that he said, and I remember it to this day, is that come have a drink with me, but you got to buy the drink. So send me some super chats so I could go out and buy a bottle and we'll drink together. And that was hilarious. And people bought into that too. It's like, let's have a virtual drink together. Provide me the money and the words, and I sure will. I sure will. I'll go out and I'll buy a bottle. I sure will. I'm sure you will. If somebody's going to send you the money to go buy a bottle of booze, I'm sure you will. And you sure did. Yeah, I'll drink. Buy me the bottle. Yeah, we'll drink together. Really, you could drink together, like on a virtual type of basis. I didn't know we came that far. It was clever. It really was. Although he was dumb as a hillbilly when it came to finding ways of making money and getting people to believe him. Oh, he was wonderful for that. Oh, he got you all to buy him his booze, cigarettes, everything, man. He knew what he was doing. He was very clever with that. He was extremely clever with that. CFC says Fazio will keel over with a hammer in his hands trying to put together that hotel. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they come and they go, folks. They come and they go. They'll be gone. Don't worry about it. Mother Nature's going to say hello. Good reason. Karma's going to say is going to be part of that. It's going to happen. It's not if, it's when. Well, that's all of us, actually, but more so, I think, on people like this. To be quite frank with you, okay? Yeah. But I've always found that hilarious, although he needs a psychologist, but he would use psychology. How can somebody say, Barry, how come you're not drinking tonight? I don't have any money for it. Now, if you want to buy me a bottle, I'll go out and buy one. For sure I will. Guarantee I will. I'll go out. Of course he will. And we'll drink. We'll drink? What do you mean by that? We'll drink. Virtually drinking with somebody on the internet? So he's going to share that booze with you? Here's a glass for you, pal. I've always found that funny. Haven't you? You remember that? Some of his one-liners were great, I got to give him credit for that. He was very resourceful on his survival. But I guess that happens with a lot of people, that you have to be resourceful. If you're in a situation where you're not going to survive for food and all your vices, such as drinking, smoking, and all that stuff. Wasn't that funny? CFC said, I'm sure Barry misses the shack on C. Schmidt Street in Mobile. Oh, yeah. He misses, what's her name? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fergie. Oh, Virgie. Oh, I'm sure. I just don't think it was right what he did, though. Oh, that projectile infectious vomit, or rather mucus he was spitting all around the property. She had to clean it up, and not to mention like nothing, just throwing his cigarette butts right in the bush that she had to clean up. No couth at all, nothing. I mean, he had no class whatsoever. Everything about him was classless, it was low class. Everything he did, farting on camera around the girlfriend, burping, begging the way he did, and just throwing his cigarettes around for Virgie to clean up. But the worst part was I call it his projectile mucus spitting. That's nasty. And what if it had infection in it, Nah, that wasn't right. Not at all. Jeff says buy him an Xbox so we could watch him play games. Oh, yeah, that's like watching paint drying. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. Buy me an Xbox so you could sit with me and watch me. The same shit as buy me some booze. I'll be right back. Yeah, tell me, do you guys remember that with Barry? No, it's 3 foot. No, it's 3 foot long. I came up with that. CFC says, as a fellow Southerner, I find it hard to forgive Barry's inability to tell a story. Mighty Whites for the win. That's Jeff Hart. But please tell me you remember that. It just came to my mind about that, and how manipulative he was to get people to buy him a bottle of booze. I remember they would say to him, "You going to be drinking tonight, Barry? Oh, if you want to buy me the bottle, I'll go out and buy it right now." And he'd say the words, "I sure will. I sure will. I'm sure you will. Someone want to buy you a free bottle of booze? I'm sure you will." And he did. He'd say, "Let's drink together. We're gonna drink tonight. We're gonna drink tonight," implying more than one. You're all virtually going to drink with him. Oh, he was clever with that. He really was. I gotta admit that. He was clever. He was really clever. He certainly was. He knew how to manipulate people. He knew how to manipulate all the girls. By the way, Barry hasn't been with as many women as you think he has. He's been with plenty, but not as many as you think. And he's tried and failed with every woman he's ever been with. So, yeah, I wonder why. But, the question in more contemporary times is right now, why? And we're all trying to figure that out. Why is this, if she's even still in his life? I'm sure she probably is. Why is this woman? It's a good question. It really is. Why is this woman by his side? She sees he's a bum, sees he's a loser, he's in jail, might be in there for 10 years of her life. He's a bum. Obviously, he's broke. Why is she with him? She sees all his faults. Don't tell me she's never seen all the shows made about him, but she's still with him. What is the driving force and factor that keeps her in his life? Anybody want to kind of regurgitate a few syllables on that? I'll tell you what my theory is. I've said before, he's white and he does make like about $550 a month. And that's an income. And maybe she's dated guys that didn't have a job at all, but he at least has an income, even though he was basically surviving off her purse, but still. And then the possibility, if he could ever have babies, he said that he was fixed. He's going to try to reverse it. I don't know if I even buy that, truthfully. Barry's a non-caring person. I can't see him spending the money or having that process of having a vasectomy. I just can't personally see him doing that. Okay? Denial is not just a river in Egypt. Absolutely. I say that all the time. I can't see him getting himself fixed because he doesn't care about anybody. He gets a woman pregnant. He doesn't give a fuck. So I don't buy, you know why I think he tells people, and this is my conclusion on there. Be very honest with you. I still believe it today. The reason he tells women that he can't have kids and he had a vasectomy, so he could be in denial. Here we go to denial again. That if a woman got pregnant and she said it's your kid, there was a woman I remember in the past that he even talked about, and we never elaborated on that one. Nobody has. I'm surprised that was never brought up. There was a woman that he said he claimed he got her pregnant. He said, "Oh, she's full of shit. I'm fixed. I can't have any kids." I don't believe he has a vasectomy. And the reason he says he has a vasectomy is because if he did knock up a woman, his excuse is that it wasn't me. It had to be another guy because I'm not capable of having children. And they should make it mandatory for him to have a vasectomy if he doesn't have one. Someone like him, absolutely. Please have a vasectomy if you ever get out of jail. Might be a while. Hold on, I gotta go put some fruit in my cereal. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back and forth. You know how it works with me. Be right. Sorry about that. I had to go retrieve my cereal. I threw these are small blueberries. I had to throw some blueberries in it. I can't eat oatmeal without fruit in it. It's like eating cardboard. Okay, Jeffy Geechee. He must have had a vasectomy. Healthcare was important to him, judging from his top shelf dental care regime. Yeah, I guess so. All right, we don't have to concentrate on these people. No. Guys, you are who you are. With all your faults, you are who you are. You control your own destiny to a certain degree. Keep that in mind. And how you treat other people. The show I did the other day was a fantastic demonstration of the hate on YouTube, and I had fun doing that. I did make donations too on that, and it goes to show you that's not the way to go about it on here. It really isn't. I mean, I understand you guys. I mean, in some of these vloggers, you're human, Oh shit! Hold on, I gotta put this on the charger right away. I didn't want that to happen. Just stand up and talk. Fuck, really? God. I still have to get dressed and everything yet. I still got to do my. I still got to hit the treadmill for, I don't know, at least a half an hour. Something. Bananas and blueberries are my go-to cereal. Yeah, that's what I have right now. And strawberries I sometimes have. It's good for inflammation. There's a lot of goodness in nature if you know how to utilize it.
CFC says Barry is on his way to becoming one of the forgotten. I hope so. Either at Piqueton or at the sea booths. I got news for you guys that I didn't share with you. Did you know up until a certain point, nobody had a clue where Barry was at? Prosecutor's office, even the Bureau of Immigration that put him in that jail cell, did not have a fucking clue where he was, that he was actually indeed the forgotten. I'm not kidding you. I'm not making this up. I said, don't you know that he's at the Mandawi facility? How many times has my lawyer told me? How many times have I told you? And they were still trying to serve him all the way back to Moabwell. If you can believe this. I'm serious. That happened. That did happen. They got it straight now, but they had no clue. I mean, he's sitting in the detention center, and the very agencies, or one of them that got him in there, didn't even know where the fuck he was. I'm not kidding you. Yeah, this is superfood. I'm not kidding you, but I have no reason to make that up and tell you this. They had no clue where he was. This recent thing they had to serve him? They tried to serve him all the way back to Marlborough, not even Car. They tried to serve him all the way. I'm not kidding you. So my lawyer had to straighten him out, and I had to say, no, that's not where he's at. The motherfucker is in detention center in Mandawi in immigration. Isn't that amazing to hear that? I'm not making this shit up. The agency didn't have a clue where the fuck he was. That's why he didn't get served for a while. No, they actually have an arrest warrant. And I will give you the update on it. I'll tell you the update is right now. CFC says, that's amazing. At least the U.S. keeps track of where the inmates are. Isn't that amazing? I did not make this up. I have no reason to say that. There's no benefit to me or anything. They didn't even know where the fuck he was. Now, he does have an arrest warrant coming. It's been signed off. It's for real for the 5 counts we talked about. Really. Now, the Bureau of Immigration has to also remind the PNP over in Wellwell, which has been reminded on about 9 occasions by me and my lawyer of where he is. I said, are you people even aware of where he is? Why are you trying to serve him all the way back in Wellwell? Oh, we tried to serve him. We had to take away the arrest warrant and issue a new one. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Really? I was amazed. This wasn't too long ago. They didn't have a clue. How the hell did he get in immigration if the immigration didn't put him there? Well, you know how he wound up in jail. That's a little bit something to do with that, but we'll go back into that. But, it's like all this time he's been serving in there was for nothing to him. That he was the nobody, nowhere man that nobody even knew or cared where the fuck he was. Wow. So he's going to have to go through the whole process. No, he's going to be served. He hasn't been. I'm going to tell you the truth. He has not been physically served with the new arrest. Nope. That's going to be happening soon now. But the agencies, the idiots, the PNP in Moabwell, still, see, it was designated that because his crime started in Moabwell, that's where it was going to be derived from. So what they did was they went and tried to serve him in Moabwell, his last known address at the apartments. Otwez apartments, whatever they're called. But we couldn't serve him because he wasn't there. Of course he wasn't there because he was in Car. Until we straightened everybody out that he's not in Moabwell, that he's in Car. Yeah, my early Christmas present. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not kidding. I don't make this shit up. What will happen, if you really want to know, is that he will be served over in Mandawi. Now that they got it straightened out, I said, what do I need to do? Do I need to make a trip all the way to Moabwell to straighten out the PNP when I've written them, and my lawyer has, and talked to them, that they don't even know where the fuck he is, and we only told them about 22 times where he is? Then they keep on making referral to, well, we tried to serve him at the, apartments on blah, blah, blah road in Wellwell, but he wasn't there. But our bounty crew, what they call it, are going to hunt them down, and we guarantee you're going to find him. I said, what are you talking about? We know where he is. He's been almost 4 months in fucking Mandawi Detention Center. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Now they finally understand. See, Ricky and Barry were not lying. Believe it or not, at the time when they said that Barry was not served this 5-count situation, they weren't lying. That was for real, because he wasn't, and he still hasn't, but he will. That's guaranteed. He will. Now that we got the situation straightened out, you know where he is. Can you believe that a government operation, they'll incarcerate you and not even know where the fuck you are? Mind-boggling. Oh, there it is. You said it. Well, I'm even reading it. I just came out and said, this is pretty mind-boggling. even for the Philippines. Yes, that is what happened. That is why. This thing was executed a long time ago. July 23rd or something was the last communication in regards to that. Let me see if I have it on it. I'm going to read you what they said. I'm going to read you, and I'm going to read you what they said. Let me find it here. You're just not going to believe this. In my response, I still have that. I'll look at the trash file. Trash. Maybe it's in the trash. Let's see if I can find that. I will actually read you. You know, I got Timmy writing me, threatening me. Timmy, who supports Barry. This idiot's been writing me all the time. If you don't do this, if you don't give me... He wants to get the phone number or the email address of Michael Fazio. And I didn't want to provide it. Believe it or not, I was being cool about that. I didn't want to provide him with that. I don't know why he wants Michael Fazio, why Timmy wants Michael Fazio's phone or rather email address. I have his email address. Okay, here it is. Listen to this. Listen to this. First and foremost, our apology for a late reply. Now, this comes from, I think that's from Peter. For a late reply of your message due to unstable internet connections. Anyway, we would like to inform you, sir, that upon receiving the warrant, which they got, the actual written warrant of arrest against the accused, we immediately served such warrant to the given address, as we stated. The given address was a Mwalbwal address. These idiots, man. Okay, against the accused, we immediately served such warrant to his given address, as he stated in the warrant of arrest. However, the said subject of warrant was nowhere to be found at his apartment in Bosdiat, Mwalbwal, Cebu. Okay. Further to inform you, sir, that the operatives will never stop in finding the whereabouts, and the operatives will head by tomorrow in the Bureau of Immigration to serve the warrant of arrest against the accused. Can you believe this shit? That's what happened. This was dated like August 24th. August 24th. August 24th. Is that amazing or what? CFC says the Icelandic saga of the Philippines versus Barry Lee Jordan should be instructive to Westerners on the Philippines legal system. Jeffy Geechee says, sounds like a comedy show sketch. Doesn't it, man? I'm serious as a heart attack. This is real. I didn't make this shit up. I have no reason to do that. I didn't make this shit up. Not at all. Not one bit. Not one bit. These mofos didn't even know where the fuck he was. You'd actually have to go down there personally, spend money, and make a trip to get these agencies to cooperate in a timely manner. Oh, they cooperate with you after a while. They notice things they have to do when they do it, but it's the interim, you know. It's getting them to do what they need to do in an expedient way. And there's not an agency that doesn't know this guy's name. There's not one goddamn agency out there that doesn't know who he is. Okay? You could guarantee on that. You could bet the farm on that. But doing business with these people, trying to get something done, that's why I said, you know, you don't like somebody on here, you want to do a case against me or somebody else, good luck with that, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not worth it. Not worth it. I know, because I've gone through this. That's why I could tell you right here, right now, it's a bitch. It involves money, time, trips, constant calls, constant emails. It's not even fucking worth it. But if you had to go through that, the end results turn out good, then I guess you could say it was worth it. But it takes a lot to get through all that stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. They didn't know. They didn't know where the fuck he was. Of course he didn't get served for the counts. Is it real? Yeah, the counts are real. The fiscal approved it. That's not the problem. There are really 5 counts of cybercrime against the guy. That's not a lie I'm making up. I did hear all this bullshit on there about, although they didn't accept this case. So they failed the first time. They failed the second time. So Barry doesn't have any charges against him, and that's all bullshit. Look, I will tell you on the love I have for my partner, on the love I have for anything that is dear to me in my life, yes, there is 5 counts of cybercrime against Barry. The motherfucker hasn't been served with it, though. Oh, the paperwork's there, all written out. He just hasn't been served with it yet. Oh, yeah, it's right in front of me. I'm looking at it right now. Because I'm standing up at my counter eating my oatmeal because the battery was going dead, so I plugged in. That's where the plug is. And the picture's right in front of me. I'm looking at it right now. Him standing up there with that black shirt with the white writing, and he's standing right behind the cell. What a gift that is. It really does good for my morale. It really does. So I know you're finding this hard to believe, folks, and believe me, so did I. And what was my lawyer for? Well, he's done some legwork for me on this. You know, he's done his part. I mean, he's done his part. I can't say he hasn't. I kind of wish in certain situations he would have done more for me, considering how much money I have actually put out to this guy. Seriously. But he's doing the best he can. I mean, I got to give him credit. He even escorted a 5-man team, intel agents from the Bureau of Immigration, actually went to Karkar with them. Mm-hmm. He wanted to witness the arrest, and he had acquired a piece of video of the arrest, which I wound up with. I had briefly showed it on here, and he was entirely cooperative. That's what he was saying. I'm not gonna do nothing wrong. Yeah, I'm being cooperative. He didn't want to get shot. You know, he's very paranoid. Could have tried to run, but that probably would have been a good idea. Yeah, but he got arrested. That's real, right? He's in jail. That's real, right? Or is that made up too? Did I make that up too? Yeah. Okay. CFC says, at least with their legal system being this slow, then the time to process Barry would be just as slow now that he is an inmate. Yeah. Well, that could work against him too, because it means more time of just, sitting there and nothing happening at all, seemingly more time in jail, Jeffy Geechee says, I'm not totally shocked. He had a friend that went through hell getting police to investigate the murder of a family. Yeah. Whatever's going to look for good for the police department, for good PR, that maybe it'll do something. Famous family or something, whatever, then they might get on their feet. But the legal system here in the Philippines is extraordinarily low. This should have been done a long time ago. And guys, listen, I did make the effort. That's the truth. I can only control so much. I'm not legislation. I don't make the legislative laws out here. I don't write, the statutes and all that. I just abide by them. And that's all I can really do. And I can only hope for the best. That's all I can do. And that's all I did, guys. And it turned out well, obviously. But, I think Barry is seriously still under the impression, because of the lack of proper information coming to him. But I think, and Ricky talked about it too. He said, yeah, it's bullshit. They throw out his request with the prosecutor's office for the 5 counts against him. We hear Ricky saying that a lot. That's obviously not true. So Barry basically goes on that thought process that all he's got to deal with is his immigration, and that's not true. He's got a long road ahead. And like I said, I should get hit by lightning right now if I'm lying. It's true. I'm not going to lie to you guys about it. He does have 5 counts against him. I've even showed some paperwork. But, to some people like Ricky and all that who were trying to get money off Barry, that's going to be in denial. Because he wanted your money. He didn't want to tell you that all bad was against Barry, that he's never going to get out. But he says, let's have that fun for Barry, to free Barry. And all you suckers that are eating crow now, that got involved in that, just like the Nika case and all that other shit. Everybody's eating fucking crow because they contributed to this, thinking they can get Barry out to piss me off. But I'm afraid, my friends, that ain't going to happen. That just ain't going to happen. Mm-hmm. 48 now? 48? No, they're generally not. No. Generally, they're not. Generally, I don't know. I don't know. Generally, they're not. It's in a small court atmosphere, and the only people you're sometimes allowed in are witnesses or something like that. Generally not. I don't think so. CFC, hope it's a dangerous thing. Hope can drive a man insane. Hope can do that. Yeah. Read from Shawshank Redemption. Yeah. Having false hope is just as bad as what's happening to you. I mean, being incarcerated in the first place, having false hope. And, Ricky was a bastard with that. He really was. Not that I feel sorry for Barry. Please understand that I don't. But Ricky gave him false hope up to this day. And it wasn't right. I mean, if it was anybody else, I'd have some compassion for Barry. But being Barry, I don't have any compassion. But it was wrong to keep Barry thinking he's got hope. He's going to be able to marry his girlfriend, everything else. And the truth is, the 5 cases are going to be against him. In all honesty, guys, yeah, he's going to be gone for a long time in jail. I don't know where he's going to wind up, to be honest with you. I don't have that information, or I tell you. He's going to wind up in Bikitan or somewhere in Cebu, just out of prison. I really, really don't know. He might wind up in a Moab prison over there somewhere, in some kind of lockup. He probably not hope to do that. I can't tell you that information because I really don't know it. But I could tell you that if things go the way they are, He gets his arrest warrant done. I don't know. He's already arrested. He's in jail, but I guess they have to do it formally. Barry, you're under arrest. This is your arrest warrant, but he's already in jail. They have a choice of just leaving him there, just make it a verbal thing, give him the paper, saying this is an official arrest warrant, and he stays in that jail cell. Or at that point, it's becoming criminal because it is a criminal offense under the RA codes. They could take him from there and transfer him to another prison. That's the options that are going on with that. Ricky made a couple of thousand, I'm sure. He made a couple of thousand from Barry. I didn't think, he bought his girlfriend that fucking phone and shit, and they were staying at places, fancier type of accommodations and stuff. He was doing it all for himself. And, look, hear me out. I don't like Barry. Obviously so, and for good reason. But let me also tell you that I still, no matter what, how much I don't have any compassion for Barry, I still don't think it was right what he did. Whether it's Barry or anybody, to give somebody that false hope to think that they're going to be, exonerated from and run free or get out on bail. Because if there's a criminal case against him, because immigration is involved, normally you'd be able to get bail. They allow that. But I think in his situation here, there won't be no bailout for him, even if he had the money for the bail. I just don't think. What is he doing with his monthly money? Whether he's still getting it from SSI? I don't know that either, but he's got to be doing something with that money. I don't know. But yeah, I think that was totally wrong, despite what I think about the guy. Just don't give somebody. That's like kicking somebody when they're down. And Ricky kicked him when he was down, teasing him with these meals he come over to make him think that he was really helping him out and have him believe that. CFC says, Ricky will need to come up with lots of pesos to settle with Fazio. I really don't know how that's going to turn out. I think it's more probably in Fazio's favor. But here's the thing. He went for medicals and all that. These people don't believe that Fazio was actually hurt in that little slapping process. He may not get anything. He may just get maybe transportation to go to a medical facility or something like that. I am not thinking he's going to get much money for this. I really don't think so. Or he may just throw it out. Well, I have some compassion even for Barry. I mean, that sounds crazy. No, I don't. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, I do. No, I don't. I mean, I'm human, okay? I think a man's already down. Don't kick him anymore. Let him, serve his crime. Let him pay legally for what he did. That's all that matters to me. But, I don't know, man. Kicking him down even further, I think is not right. As I would not want to be done to me in that way. Yeah, he's hurting. He's suffering. Don't mind him on camera and just smiling and all that shit. He's miserable, man. It's hot and humid in those places. I don't think you have your own shower, nothing. You pace back and forth like a bobcat, or just go out the jail doors because a lot of times they keep it open. There's that little section. You go look out the window, have a cigarette. Do you quit smoking? No. You know what? I'm thinking that he didn't. Because when you're caged up like a rat like that, you got more nervous energy. You're going to smoke. Unless when he went for a medical visit, they said, man, you have to stop. And right now he claims that he weaned off it a couple of weeks, that he hasn't smoked, whatever it was. I'm not buying that. Yeah, CFC says Barry will have to answer to charges in Decatur. That too. Well, from what I understand, yeah, that would be correct. Chifigichi says it shows you what a true bottom feeder that Ricky is. Yeah, he really is. I don't know what his psychology is. He's demonstrated stuff to us that we find unbelievable, but I think it's real, and I just don't think it's all entertainment. I just really don't believe that. I don't buy it. There's certain things you can't hide. Certain things you can, and certain things you cannot. Your true personality comes out on YouTube when it's done repetitively. It has to be part of your character. It's like putting on a phony smile. No, you do that so much, but yeah. Well, guys, I think we got one donation here today, which is great. I haven't checked Gilda's phone. Is there any other donations other than $10? All right, she'll check it out. Because I can't see everything on there, because I want to give thanks to anybody who has donated. And some people don't show up on my screen here, and then I don't give them the credit they deserve. I try to do that on my show anyway, if I know somebody's actually donated. So just checking it right now. I think I've only got one donation. That was from William O'Leary. Thank you, William.
No, only one.
from okay, we just got one donation, which is better than kicking the ass. I mean, really.
William O'Leary.
Yeah, William O'Leary. Thank you.
Oh,
William.
you got like Captain Billy Jack.
Oh, and by the way, in the future, folks, let me remind you something here. We will only do one show per day. I've decided on that. So hang in there because this is my show for today. I see no reason of doing multiple shows per day. It gives you something to look forward to a little bit. Even that's too much. Some people don't do once a week, once a month. So be grateful that I'm doing any shows at all on here. To be honest with you, Yeah, I'm still there. We're keeping the stream going here. And you guys can talk amongst each other. Don't be shy. You all know each other probably. I'll come back when I'm finished doing what I'm doing. Fair enough. Just check back now and then. Don't leave there. We're here. Remember, I'm here because you're there. I'll be back. I've got a song in my heart that I'd like to sing to you. Not really. All right, I'll get out of here. All right, I'll shut up. We were just joking around with me. I said, what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. Have you heard that before? I started saying what's yours is mine and what's mine is yours, but then I said, let me correct that. What's mine is mine and what yours is mine.
No.
No.
No. Mine is, of course, I do it. I do something for to gross that one to earn. So that's
she's
mine.
doing very well in the earning department. I got to give her.
Yours is mine.
Hey, well, no, it is true. What's mine is yours. I mean, I'm not going to take it with me, right, guys? I'm not going to take it with me. It don't matter where I get a money source, if any. The fact is, house, home, and heart. It's all hers. I mean, it's when I go. I mean, where's it going to go? To a family member that really respects me? That's not going to happen. It's going to her.
That's why I said mine is mine because I
What's yours is yours. Your earning is yours. You mean I can't touch your money in emergency? You gotta love them, Filipinos. You gotta love them. You gotta love them.
That's why for my kids.
For your kids. That's right. Ching, 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 jing, 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 jing. Let's light up that screen, folks. Oh my God. You heard what Gilda said.
That's right, dear. I said, even I'm sitting here, I'm earning.
Yeah, she's sitting there, and just by sitting there, she's earning money. So am I, actually. By sitting here, I'm actually earning money.
How much my salary? Just sitting.
Your salary?
Yeah, for somebody.
For sitting down?
Yeah.
It was like 20,000 pesos a month alone.
More than.
It's more than that, actually. Yeah. Just for sitting on her ass, really.
Just sitting.
But not really. Not really. It's not really.
No.
No, it's more like.
More than that.
Yeah, it's more like 220,000 pesos a month. I'm not kidding you. I love you, dear.
That's why.
Tell me how I love you. Tell me it's so. Tell me it's true. Oh, oh, oh.
So
What do you got your hand out for? You got a house.
Because you don't give me, and then
I don't give you. I give you shit.
Yeah, that's all.
I give you shit. Ain't that enough? Hey, you got a house worth 8 to 10 million freaking pesos, man.
Oh, I cannot eat the house.
And everything I'm earning, just our investments. She needs socks. She does. Yes, Jeff, you have to remind me that she needs socks. I need socks and underwear. We're reminded of each other on that.
I'm looking for the nice underwear with hole.
With a hole? You mean for me?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean with a
With the hole.
With the hole. Yeah, with the hole. That's called a fly. That's called a fly, so we urinate. I like that, with the hole on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they sell underwear for women with the hole in there. Why even have underwear? The guy, she doesn't have to take off her underwear. The guy just, goes through the hole. There's some cultures, believe it or not, that still practice something like that. They put a sheet over the naked body of their woman, and they cut out a hole just for the, intended area. Because I don't know if that's in a Muslim religion. I'm not sure, but I have heard of that before. There are religions.
That one is just for joking, right?
No. It's true. Orthodox. It's the Orthodox Jews. See, it's for real.
Really?
Except when I have sex,
I never heard
she
that.
covers my face up.
I never heard that.
She covers my face up and puts a picture of Brad Pitt on there. That's what she does. Now you all know. Okay, see that. Jeff Geechee. I like that name. Jeff Geechee. I think is what you pronounce it. The Orthodox Jews, that's the one.
GP.
They do that. They put a sheet over their body because you're not supposed to see their naked body.
I thought it's just only for the movie.
No, it's not just
Because
no.
like a girl also with a
No, it's true. People actually do that. And there's old traditions, even in Italy, that when a girl's going to get married, you know what they do? And somebody, no, I'm serious, they put a sheet outside. They put a sheet outside with blood on it. It means that she did not have sex. She was not promiscuous. They actually put it on a clothesline for everyone to see. It's just a tradition in Italy. And they still practice it in some areas, I'm sure. So they put the sheet out. If there's blood on it, it means that, her cherry was popped and she's never had sex prior to marriage. Right. She was a virgin, proving that she was a virgin. For the very first time, like a virgin. For the first time. Can you believe that shit, CFC? They still do that shit? But wait a minute. Then the girl could get embarrassed if the sheet goes out there and there's no blood on it. Then she gets married and they're called a putan. And I think the Spanish word for that too is a whore. Putan. She's a putan.
I don't know.
No, they're called a putan. Putan. A whore. That's what they do. And they'll get embarrassed for that. Yeah, these Italian mothers and shit, they'll do that to their daughters. If it embarrasses them or not, they will do that. They're so kind of bent on the religion and God and everything, the Catholic thing. And
Yes.
oh my gosh, they do. To embarrass your daughter like that? Seriously? I think Barry's first cellmate will be putting a sheet over him. You guys are the best. The best.
No, it's not the shits.
You heard that
Just
Peckerwood
only
is
the
nervous.
bullshit.
Only the bullshit. Yeah. That's the sweet, by the way, sweet Gilda. She's the sweetheart of everywhere. That's why my screen should be lighting up. And I don't know. I don't know why.
Take the lights and make it screens light.
Well, Gilda's telling you, she light up. She just told you, man. She light up the screen, man. Gilda said it. I mean, that's the sweetheart. She's the sweetheart.
If I have YouTube, so I donate to your
Yeah.
your screen already.
Yeah, you'll donate to me if she has. If she would donate to me, she would. Hey, come on, that's our sweetheart here. Okay, that's our sweetheart. What's that word to you guys? She's the driving force behind me. Okay. Hymen reconstruction surgery is a thing some women. I did meet a girl, and I still got to leave the screen now. I did meet a girl in Seattle that had what you call a double hymen. It's very rare. Obviously, I didn't do anything with her. Well, she did some things with me, but we won't go into that. But she had a double hymen, and it could be surgically fixed. Or if she wants to go through the pain, she'll have sex with somebody. She was highly religious, too. One of these chicks that says she spoke in tongues and all that, and she played a classical guitar and goes to these little religious groups and sing Kumbaya around the campfire. You know that relationship didn't last. Sweetheart of a person. Cute little thing. She came from Binghamton, New York originally. She was in Seattle. Anyway, I got to go again, so you guys have fun. Hey, man, Gilda said it, man. Light up the screen. Don't cheap out on her. You can cheap out on me, but don't cheap out on her. It just ain't right. I'll be back. Folks, people. Okay, we're back shortly here. I told you I'd come back. I still haven't completed my chores. I did eat my oatmeal, but I still gotta do the treadmill and some hand weights. Then after that, take a shower. I'll be all sweaty. But yeah, maybe for the first time ever, that Ricky and Barry did not lie. And if you heard the beginning of my show, I explained to you that the system didn't even know where the hell Barry was. And they were thinking that he was in Moldball all this time. This is how bad communication is. And you want to do a lawsuit against somebody on here? Really? Well, I guess up to this point, they didn't know where the fuck Barry was. Even the immigration that put him in that cell wasn't even sure where the fuck he was. Don't forget, you remember on the when it was in the newspapers everywhere that he got busted, and he says that him and this other guy, the Indian guy, they were going to be taken to Bikitan. Administrative glitch or whatever on that one. That's the that was going on with that. That was it. But truly, for the first time, perhaps in Ricky or Barry's life, that they told the truth when they said that Barry was not yet served with the arrest warrant. I'm being redundant here, but for the first time, perhaps in their life, and Ricky's just playing out lies anyway. But he was, because he really did not get served, which, like I said, it's been approved by the fiscal. It's real. It's as real as it gets. But they kept on thinking they were going by. For some reason, they gave the responsibility of the arrest warrant to Wow, where he was originally living. And you could tell this to Barry. And they were going by that. And they tried. Then they had to cancel the arrest warrant. And they had to reissue a new one. That's what happened. Now they got a fresh warrant. Now they're aware of where he is. But they kept on thinking, Mwalbwa, his last address at the OESTE apartments over in Mwalbwa. That's what they thought he was. Even they were told by my lawyer, they were told by me more times than I could think of, certainly more times than I have fingers on my hands, and they still didn't get it. They still did not understand when we told them that it's not where he is. He's in lockup in immigration. For God's serious shit. This is the way it is going to work is that he will get, it'll be a formal arrest. I mean, the fact that he's already in jail, I don't know what they plan to do, just because now this is a criminal case also besides the immigration issue. Then the scenario changes in two ways. One, they may decide to actually put him in Bikitan. They just got to do the formal serving. That's all they got to do. And they can take him from there and put him in Bikitan. Whatever they want to do, I'm not in control of that. I made suggestions, but I'm not in control of that. All right, that's how it's going to work. Then he'll have the official charges against him, which he's thinking all this time, because he only goes by information from Ricky. You got to understand that. And information from Ricky. I mean, really, Ricky's going to tell you what you want to hear, not what's true. But he wasn't lying. Believe it or not, and I'll admit it, he wasn't lying about the fact that he didn't see no paperwork on that, because there was none going to Mandawi, even at Oeste. And for some reason, lost in the shuffle, like most people are that are incarcerated, in fact, they're lost in the shuffle, never to be heard of again. Sometimes they don't know who you are, why you're in. That's why people are in there for so long, because justice takes a long time. But he did not have, up to this point, believe me, no reason to lie about this. He did not have anything. It did not go in his hands. There was no arrest warrant on his hands. Was the second attempt to serve him or to put a case against him, was it successful? Yes, it was. It was signed by the fiscal, everything else. That's not the problem. The problem was him being served. That was the problem. So what happened was they were still thinking that Goober was in fucking Mwalbwa. I know you find this hard to believe, but you can't make this shit up. And I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you what happened. So he will be served in this jail cell. They're very well aware of this. Sometimes, guys, you have to go in person, that you can't communicate. You got to go right to there, put your nose to nose with these police and other people. This has to do with the PNB, and they were designated. They were designated the ones who were going to serve him the arrest warrant. Now, does that mean they're going to take him because he's being served by the Mwalbwa PD? Does that mean they're going to take him to a more local facility to Mwalbwa? That is a possibility. I can't tell you that. But he will be served. You got my guarantee on that. Okay, I think all the buffoonery is over with. I think they finally got it straight. Finally got it straight to know where the hunchback is. And he will be served. And he'll have the paperwork. And then the disappointment really starts with him, because after Ricky making him believe that he actually has a chance to go out on his own, and go back to the United States, start his life and everything else, I'm afraid, that's just really not going to happen with these charges. If it was ever even possible with the immigration issue, that's doubtful. But, there's always a ray of hope on that one. But because there's now 5 actual counts against him, no, it's not going to happen. he's going to be incarcerated for a very long time. I can't tell you how long, but I know that there are people in Bickerton immigration lockup part that have been in there for 7 fucking years just waiting for, for them to get around just to the immigration. This is not even a criminal aspect of it. This is just for the fucking immigration, which is a crime, by the way. It's a crime. If you did what he did with the immigration, it's a crime. People don't want to see it as a crime. Oh, it's just an administrative thing. Bullshit. It's a crime, or else he would have been arrested. Duh. Okay, so then the hammer comes down on this guy's head, and he's going to really fall apart, mentally, physically, and otherwise. To know how long he's going to have to wait in a jail cell, no matter where it is. No matter where it is, it don't matter at this point. But once he gets served that, officially, it's written out, signed, ready to go. Well, his life is going to change even more, and not for the best. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for coming in. We made a whole $11 today. We're very happy about that. Thank you for being so generous, and you were generous. Nobody has to give me anything. Nobody's obligated to give me anything, but we're always going to give you a thank you back, saying thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Like a raindrop, it all adds up, my friends. A little raindrop is significant. Get a few more raindrops together, you got a pond. Get a little more together, you got a puddle. Well, a puddle, then a pond, and then you have a lake, and then you have an ocean. So over time, it all matters. $1 here, $2 there, $10 here, $20 there. It's all good, no matter how you look at it, man. You don't hear me complaining here. Just saying thank you, man. Hey, it's been a great show. We've been on here a long time. Jesus Christ, almost 2 hours and 56 minutes. That's not a norm for me, and I don't want it to be a norm, okay? So catch whoever show is going to go on today. Enjoy it, learn from it, whatever. Hopefully learn from my show. We were very topical today about a few things. I think all in all, I think it was a pretty good show today. If I say so myself, thank you kindly and for your donations, and hope to see you again soon. And we will do 1 show per day maximum. That's going to be it. No matter what happens, to be saved for the next day. It's taking up too much of my time. I haven't even exercised yet. So there you go. I haven't even showered yet. And lucky I had my breakfast. Okay. So we have to keep things and still have topic matter to discuss without boring the shit out of you and without boring the shit out of myself. Works both ways. Trust me on that. I'm here because you're there. Thanks for listening. See ya.